I'm Mark Billy with The Art of Diesel, where we are all about diesel and automotive performance, efficiency, and independence. And today I want to give you an update on Evonne, my Turbodiesel E320 CDI. I've now had the car for a year. I want to give you an update on this. I did do some previous videos driving it and that sort of thing, but really I want to say that things are much better sorted out now. But rather than expecting you to go back and look at earlier videos, I'm going to just go ahead and start from the beginning and just tell you what's been done to this car. Now, the car does look pretty good. There's still a lot of rock chips and that sort of thing that need to be filled in and fixed. And I did put some different headlights on here, did replace the front bumper cover. Don't look too close. There's a fair amount of orange peel on my paint. My paint jobs are not the best, but this is the way the car looks today. If we do a quick walk around, I did polish up the wheels and paint the recessed areas black. I just thought it would look nice. And just a quick walk around of the car, I think it's looking pretty good. One thing you'll note down here, as you can see these exhausts popping out, I did put a pair of MagnaFlow pipes on here in order to reduce back pressure, and the car has a nice throaty sound to it. If we look at the interior of the car, you'll see these seats were duct tape when I bought it, and they've been reskinned. They look a lot better. I did put a wrap on the steering wheel. Things I'm going to point out in here: this head unit is still baked. I'm not even going to turn it on for this video. I did add a boost gauge and a pyrometer in here so we can look at exhaust gas temperatures. And if we look in the back, you'll see back there that the headliner is still coming down in here. There's still a lot of work to be done. You see chrome is flaked off on the handles, and the pull handles for the doors, these need to be reupholstered, and the pockets, you can see where the fabric has come undone in there. So there's a lot of little things that still need work. And these louvers in here need to be replaced. I've got some files, I can actually 3D print those in some good material. I do need to replace these. I've kind of done some work on these, but they're still pretty crappy, and I would like to replace the visors. But anyhow, that gives you a feel for kind of how things look. It's not a terrible looking car, but really that's not the main point of this. The main point of this is found under the hood. So let me pop the hood. There it is. All right, so under the hood, everything's nice and clean. A lot of work has been done under here. Some of these aluminum surfaces were just looking rough, so I just went ahead and shot them with some blue engine paint. And let's talk about what's been done here. First, this air filter is stock. It's a huge truck-like air filter. There's plenty of airflow in that. A lot of folks doing high performance work stick with this filter. I'm doing the same. Underneath here, you won't be able to see it, is a hybrid turbo that was purchased from a gentleman in Lithuania. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. Once the air is compressed, it is fed into an intercooler down here. You can just see that there's something thicker there. And if we look up real close, you might be able to pick out the blue hoses and hose clamps out at the ends of the intercooler. It took a fair amount of work to get that to fit well. And then it goes back up into this manifold. You'll note something's missing here. If you're familiar with this OM648 engine, the EGR is gone. Instead, I've just got a fitting in order to feed the boost gauge. It's right across from where the map sensor is. But anyhow, a lot's been done. Baffles have been removed. Everything is as clean flowing as it can be on the intake and on the exhaust, which you won't be able to see here. There's been some work done here to help remove congestion. Let's just say that we've removed some restrictions to the airflow and the exhaust up near the front here, and in the back we've got the MagnaFlow mufflers, and so the whole thing breathes a lot better. Let's get this thing started. Over here, you'll note that everything is purring. Driving, the engine's just purring. It's running real smooth. We've got a really good tune on this engine. Now, what I want you to know is that originally I bought a tune from the Lithuanian gentleman who I bought the turbo from. The hybrid turbo is still on here, but I was not real happy with the tune. And what was happening was, when I was reaching out for help on why the car wasn't running right, and what I was getting was blame. He was saying, you've got boost leaks and you took apart the turbo at one point, and therefore all this stuff, you screwed it all up. It's your fault, Markabilly. So I really didn't believe that that was the issue. And I did start working with a gentleman in Tennessee, and I'll give you his information. It's Tennessee Diesel. Gentleman's name is Drew. He's a real expert at this. He was involved behind the scenes with some of the work that's been done on larger channels that are more well known than mine. And when I talked with him, I felt comfortable that he knew what he was talking about. He was familiar with the guy that I bought the turbo from, and has actually been very helpful. Instead of pointing blame and saying, this is what's not right, that's not right, you screwed it up, and just leaving me in a bad position, this guy has been somebody who's been great to work with. And so Drew at Tennessee Diesel is awesome. You really need to get in touch with him if you want to tune one of these. He's really an expert. He really knows what he's doing, and the car's running great. So let's take it for a spin and let's see how everything's running. All right, so the work that's been done with Drew on this car, keep in mind I've got an upgraded turbo, upgraded intercooler, very little else. Yes, I've gotten rid of some restrictions in the intake and exhaust as well, but really that's about it. I really haven't done that much to the engine. The engine itself is stock. We are using stock fueling. We're using the stock high pressure pump, and we're using the stock injectors. None of those things have been messed with. Now, a lot of my reason for not messing with the fueling is that as long as you have the stock injectors, you're going to get the finest mist you can get. And what I'm really hoping for, and I really haven't had a chance to take this car on a trip, I need to do it sometime soon and report back, but I'm expecting that this car should be capable, because everything I've done would increase the efficiency of this engine. I expect this car should be able to get 40 miles per gallon on the highway, but I haven't done enough highway driving to confirm that. But keeping that fine mist in the stock injectors should help with fuel economy. When you go to larger injectors, you're going to have larger ports on them, and that's typically going to give you less of a fine mist at the injection point, and the result is that you're not going to get all of the efficiency that you could get. Yes, you'll get more fuel in there, but you're not going to use it as well. So that's why I've stuck with the stock injection system for now. And where I believe we are right now, we'll do some 0 to 100 runs here in a minute, and we can calculate what we think the horsepower is based on that. And what I believe we have here is a car that's producing about 500 pound-feet of torque and about 300 horsepower. That's pretty good considering we're running the stock injection system. The car is really responsive. If I touch the pedal, you know, it's got everything I need right there, right now. And it's a lot of fun to drive the way that it is. I could see coming back later and going to 400 plus horsepower, bigger injectors, go with a better turbo, you know, larger fuel pump. But right now, I think the car is pretty darn good. I like the way it drives, and I think if I want a super high horsepower car, I might actually do something else, another project. It might be putting an OM606 into some platform that I decide. All right, I'm just going to show you how this sounds, give you a feel for what the exhaust note is. I think it's pretty good with these. Looks like they should be polished. Maybe I should put some tips on here. But anyhow, I think it sounds great. It does reduce back pressure quite a bit. The car just sounds like it's got a nice rumble. It's not an excessive drone when you're out on the road. All right, I'll do a few runs up to speed here. Entrance ramp is cleared. Here we go. Kick it one more time here, and I just want you to see that we're not producing a whole lot of smoke to go with all this power we're producing. Actually, I'm going to look for an opening. All right, here we go. All right, so the car's doing pretty good. It's running great. Real questions are, what am I going to do next? Now, you may be aware, I'm doing a lot of work with something called Paracontrarian, really trying to help make certain that content creators with controversial content don't get canceled, and that's really been more my main focus, but I'm going to continue to do work with the Art of Diesel. You just might be waiting a while between videos and postings, but this will continue to be a hobby. This is something I've been doing for a number of years, and I want to continue doing it. So as far as Evonne the Turbodiesel goes, as far as this car is concerned, really the performance level is pretty much going to be where it is. I'm not really looking to make this car super high performance. Right now it's civilized, it's smooth, it's efficient. I'll still try to get some fuel economy figures to share, but really what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on just making the car a little more polite inside, fixing up the interior, working on cosmetics, that sort of thing. Let's just make the car a little bit prettier, a little more civilized, because I intend to drive this car an awful lot. And eventually what I hope to do are some more diesel projects, and some more projects that are probably more oriented toward the independent side of things, covering things like how do you make certain you have power when there are power outages, what do you do for food prep, I mean prepper stuff in general is something else that I want to cover on this channel. It's the reason I talk about independence in my intro, and I want to do a little bit more about independence. It's going to be more important in the years to come, I believe. Also, take an interest in pitching in with the Art of Diesel. If you can throw some money my way, it might actually help me to find more time to do these projects. There are two projects I'd really like to go after in the near future. Are that one, I would like to get the Subaru flat four diesels, boxer diesels if you will, that are sold in Europe. I've got an Impreza with a 5-speed manual. It's a 2.5i, a 2011, and fuel economy on that thing is absolutely rotten, and performance is so-so. I really think we could improve that with a diesel. That's one idea. Another idea is to go all out crazy and build a souped up OM 606 ride, where what I would have is an OM 606 in some sort of lightweight platform, and we would crank it up. An OM 606, well, the OM 648 in this vehicle is probably the best diesel that Mercedes ever put in a passenger vehicle. It is not the most powerful. Really, the most powerful you're going to find will be the OM 606. Those things scream to some really high RPMs, and people have been able to put out between 400 and 500 horsepower, or was it more than that? Well, let's just say between 400 and 500 horsepower on an OM 606 on stock internals is definitely achievable. And if you just start with the basic engine and you do the right things with turbochargers, exhaust, fueling, you can get there with that engine without hurting it. And then there are a lot of people who have taken the OM 606 up to much, much higher levels, to 700 plus horsepower. Folks like Black Smoke Racing did that with their wagon back in the day, a number of years ago, before they started playing with an OM 648 like what's in this vehicle. But anyhow, so I've got some different ideas on things I'd like to pursue. If I had a little bit of funding, it would sure help. It would make it a lot easier. If you're interested in becoming a paid subscriber, I promise you I will get you more videos on this channel. I just need to be able to put the effort into things that are going to be self-supporting. Any little bit of help you can provide to that will allow us to do more in the future. Thanks for watching this video. Appreciate you watching it. Appreciate you subscribing. Make certain you subscribe to the Substack. That's really the primary place where the most information will be shared, and that's artofdiesel.substack.com. Thank you.